Hello electrical engineers and welcome to another episode of Stationeers News. It's 2026 July the 18th and the headliner today is: it looks like we're getting power pylons. You know, classic power lines that span the landscape. But before we get to that, some other details that were in this beta changelog entry. Some missing buttons were added to the 1x5 solar panels. I don't know what that means, but it may be related to tilting them with a wrench. The manufacturing machines now use a different fan model, you know, for the fan animation. The Cerulean DLC starting air canister has been renamed to methane canister, but we're still starting with the oxygen tank, so no reason to celebrate. Tool alternatives. A new override system was introduced that would allow to use alternative tools for certain construction steps. I assume that's just fundamental work that hasn't yet found its way into actual gameplay. Similarly, material substitutions. Construction recipes now allow certain expensive materials to act as substitutes for inexpensive ones if you are short on basic supplies. And in the back end of the game, the new referenceable network was introduced, which will allow to handle general network implementations, which is not related to multiplayer. We're talking about pipe networks and cable networks more efficiently with better performance. And then this was used for the new power pylons. Here you can see you can place them currently anywhere basically, and it's a two-step building process. And there's an input and an output block. The input block takes in power and needs to be switched on, but it would show an error while there's not yet an output block on the other side. The power lines themselves and the connection to the input-output blocks have to be super heavy cables, and currently you don't even get those back when you dismantle this stuff. But remember, this is beta. This isn't yet in the early access game, so lots of changes are still to be expected. Mainly, this is a very different thing from what they did so far, structure-wise, and so it's kinda experimental. So development would be focusing on solving those experimental parts before we get to the convenience and all that. Well, and then here we can see what's coming out on the other side appears to only be maximum 5 kilowatts. I assume this too is just incomplete implementation because it doesn't make sense. A super heavy cable with up to 500 kilowatts coming down here and all you get out is 5 kilowatts max? No. Also, you cannot split the cables. The pylons only allow one connection, one from the bottom and one across, but you cannot connect it sideways to another pylon. If you look here, you can see that the power networks are completely separate, so one power pylon can carry two different networks. And also, here we can see 35 watts, while over there we have a consumer of 25 watts, the LED. Well, I guess it's the power pylon output device that consumes 10 watts then, huh? So, do we have to place them straight? No, you can place them anywhere you want. They just can't be too far away. The maximum is 30 cables. And if you place the power pylon just right, you can see that a tiny bit more is too far away. See, I'm trying to do it across and no. This is already slightly too far. So, we can look forward to transporting our power over long distances. But I think there might be more to this. See, a few months ago, the devs announced that they'll eventually do a power systems rework. Which makes sense, there's still a power duplication bug with transformers, the stationary beacon costs like 300 watts or something, and the solid fuel generator still doesn't need oxygen to burn its coal. More importantly though, they've also promised, I mean this is cemented, that eventually we'll get nuclear power, and they said maybe they'll even do that together with a power rework. So, did they say anything about this here? No, they didn't, but why did they come up with this power pylon thing? Was that a spontaneous idea? Or might this be a very, very early indication of some development in the direction of power systems rework? I don't know. It's wishful thinking, honestly. And what am I saying? It's not like we don't have enough to do in the game, huh? We got the new gases, we got all the new toys just now, so let's be patient and see what the guys are cooking up. See you again next time.